Breaking today. Princess Leonor 2025 royal wedding footage stuns Copenhagen and Spanish royal fans. It began as a calm spring morning in Copenhagen. The streets were quiet, the air crisp, the royal guards already stationed outside Amalienborg Palace. Everyone knew something extraordinary was about to happen, but no one could have predicted this. And then, the footage dropped. The moment Princess Leonor of Spain stepped out in her custom ivory gown, Copenhagen stopped breathing. The city fell silent. What was meant to be a royal ceremony turned into a global phenomenon. Cameras flashed, hearts stopped, and fans across Europe and beyond were left asking one question: how could something so traditional feel this completely new? Because this wasn't just another royal wedding. This was history being rewritten in real time. You see, people expected elegance. They expected protocol, crowns, and ceremony. But what they didn't expect was emotion. Real, unfiltered emotion pouring from two young royals who've grown up under the blinding pressure of monarchy, yet managed to find something authentic, something rare. When the footage first aired, millions tuned in. Within minutes, the video was trending in Spain, Denmark, the UK, and across the Atlantic. Fans cried. Critics were speechless. And royal commentators, many who have covered decades of palace events, called it the most human royal moment of the century. But how did it all unfold? Let's go back to the start. The day began before sunrise. Princess Leonor's final morning as Spain's crown princess. Her mother, Queen Letizia, was seen standing quietly by the window, watching the first light of dawn. The emotion in her eyes said everything. This wasn't just a wedding, it was the moment she passed the torch to the next generation. Meanwhile, at Christiansborg Palace, Prince Christian was pacing the marble halls. Calm yet visibly moved. The young heir who once seemed shy in public now stood with a calm authority, carrying the weight of Denmark's royal legacy on his shoulders. And when the clock struck noon, everything changed. The cathedral bells began to ring. Crowds filled the streets, waving both Spanish and Danish flags. It wasn't just two royals joining lives, it was two nations uniting under one breathtaking moment. As Leonor stepped out of her royal carriage, the world saw a vision of grace that felt almost cinematic. Her dress, designed by a fusion of Spanish and Danish artisans, reflected both her cultures, delicate lace from Seville and sleek Scandinavian minimalism. The train flowed behind her like a whisper of history. And then, the veil lifted. A soft breeze caught her hair as she looked up at the cathedral doors, where Prince Christian waited. The crowd gasped. You could feel it, the storybook coming alive. But it wasn't just beauty that stunned people. It was something deeper. Because right there, in that instant, Leonor's nervous smile revealed what everyone had hoped was true: this wasn't a marriage arranged for diplomacy. This was love. Real love. And when Christian reached for her hand, he didn't bow formally as protocol demanded. He smiled. Softly, warmly. As if saying, we've waited our whole lives for this. The ceremony was intimate, yet majestic. The vows, simple, emotional, genuine. No scripted perfection, just two voices trembling with sincerity. Christian's voice cracked as he spoke Leonor's name. She laughed through tears. Even the priest paused, visibly moved. And when they exchanged rings, a moment of silence swept across the cathedral. Cameras captured a single tear rolling down Queen Letizia's cheek. King Felipe placed his hand over hers. Across the aisle, Denmark's Queen Mary smiled proudly, eyes glistening. It wasn't just two families, it was two nations realizing they'd witnessed something pure. But the magic didn't end there. The newlyweds emerged onto the palace balcony, and what followed sent social media into chaos. As the royal band began to play, the couple shared not one, but two kisses. The first, formal and composed. The second, unexpected, joyful, and unrestrained. The crowd erupted. In Spain, massive outdoor screens replayed the moment again and again. Fans gathered in Madrid's Plaza Mayor, waving flags, some even crying. In Denmark, cheers echoed through Copenhagen's Nyhavn district. Even the press, usually reserved, couldn't contain their astonishment. Within hours, international headlines exploded. Leonor and Christian redefine modern royalty. Spain and Denmark unite in love and legacy. The fairytale Gen Z royal wedding we didn't know we needed. But behind the fairytale glow was something deeper. Royal insiders revealed that this union wasn't always guaranteed. For years, palace advisors were skeptical of blending two heirs, two potential monarchs. The political implications were enormous. Yet, Leonor and Christian fought quietly, patiently, for the right to choose love over duty. And that fight gave birth to today's moment, the moment that changed how the world sees royalty. Throughout the evening, as the reception began inside the Great Hall, another unseen moment surfaced, one that melted hearts worldwide. Hidden cameras caught the couple dancing alone, barefoot, after the official festivities. The orchestra had ended, but they stayed, laughing, whispering, moving to music only they could hear. That brief clip, just 20 seconds, broke the internet. Fans called it the modern royal miracle. The footage was replayed millions of times. People saw in that dance the proof that even in a world of crowns and protocol, love still finds a way to shine through. And yet, as fairy tales go, not everything was perfect. Behind the joy, subtle tension flickered. Reports suggested quiet unease within certain royal circles, concerns about what this marriage might mean for succession, tradition, and national identity. But even that controversy seemed to feed the fascination. Because, for once, a royal wedding wasn't about politics. It was about people. By midnight, Copenhagen's skyline glowed. Fireworks painted the sky red and gold, the colors of Spain, and blue and white for Denmark. From every corner of the city, cheers could be heard. It wasn't just celebration, it was connection. This event reminded millions why they still care about royalty, not for power, but for the rare human stories beneath the crowns. And as the footage continued to dominate headlines for days, it became clear, this wedding wasn't simply a royal milestone. It was a generational shift. A redefining of monarchy for a new era. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian didn't just marry, they gave royalty a heartbeat again. Because in that one breathtaking day, they showed the world that even within centuries of tradition, two young hearts could still spark something timeless, something unforgettable, something magical. And as the cameras finally faded, one final moment stood out, the couple stepping into their carriage, hands intertwined, looking back at the crowd one last time. Leonor turned, smiled softly, and whispered to Christian, words that microphones barely caught, "Let's make history." And they did. That single phrase became the anthem of the moment. Trending on social media, quoted in newspapers, replayed on talk shows worldwide. It wasn't just a royal wedding. It was a story of courage, unity, and love that defied expectation. The footage stunned Copenhagen. It melted hearts in Madrid. It reawakened fascination across Europe. And it reminded us all, no matter how royal, how distant, or how bound by duty, we all dream of love like this. This was royal magic, made real.